A card, a gesture, a harmless seasonal tradition. But inside the walls of Kensington Palace, that invitation did something no royal announcement or press release had managed to do all year. It cornered to princesses who never thought they'd be pushed into this kind of spotlight again. Kate Middleton, preparing for her annual Together at Christmas event, decided to extend an olive branch to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. On paper, it sounded warm and thoughtful. In practice, it tossed them straight into one of the most uncomfortable dilemmas the modern monarchy has seen. The moment word leaked, royal commentators instantly recognized that this wasn't just about a Christmas carol service. It was about reputation, family fractures, and a scandal that refuses to fade, no matter how hard the palace tries to bury it. And the sisters suddenly found themselves standing in the middle of it all. For Beatrice and Eugenie, the problem wasn't the event, it was everything attached to it. Ever since their father, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was stripped of his titles and pushed out of public life, the sisters have been walking a tightrope with no support net. They didn't commit the acts that destroyed Andrew's reputation, yet they continued to live under the nationwide shadow of his downfall. So when Kate decided to include them, it didn't feel like a warm invitation. It felt like a test. Royal commentator Neil Sean put it bluntly, the sisters are stuck in a very difficult dilemma, and they risk being swarmed by cameras, dissected by tabloids, and turned into the face of a scandal they didn't create. Decline, and it instantly becomes a narrative of disrespect, division, and a York snub toward the future queen. Either choice becomes a headline. Either choice becomes a story. And the sisters know exactly how this works, because it's happened to them before. But this time, the chessboard is more complicated, and the players around them are making moves that reveal the deeper cracks within the royal family. Kate's reasoning, according to insiders, comes down to one thing: unity. She's spent the past several years quietly trying to stabilize the family's image. With the monarchy losing popularity and senior royals scattered across personal crises, Kate believes the only hope is to appear stronger together. Her approach is softer, more empathetic. She prefers to involve people, not isolate them. And to her, Beatrice and Eugenie deserve to be included, not because of their father, but in spite of him. But unity isn't what everyone in the palace wants right now, not even close. Behind the scenes, Prince William's stance is reportedly the complete opposite. To him, the York family is radioactive. Any association with Andrew risks dragging the monarchy back into controversy, right when they need a clean slate. Rumors say William has spent the last year quietly shifting the York sisters out of spotlighted roles, favoring a more controlled and cautious approach to public appearances. He prefers distance, he prefers silence, and he absolutely prefers avoiding anything that could remotely resemble a public reunion with the York side of the family. This difference in strategy has been simmering under the surface for a while, but Kate's invitation brought it right to the front door. What makes this even more complicated is the timing. Just weeks ago, Andrew lost what little status he had left. His titles are gone, his royal privileges stripped, and with the announcement came immediate uncertainty for his daughters. Would their positions be reduced? Would they be sidelined? Would they be punished for circumstances far outside their control? But King Charles made his stance clear quickly. The daughters remain untouched. Beatrice and Eugenie are not to be penalized for their father's actions. Not now, not ever. Royal commentator Richard Eden revealed that Charles made this explicit, insisting that the sisters maintain their roles and that their future should not be altered. That decision wasn't just symbolic, it was a direct statement. And for William, it reportedly wasn't a welcome one. Shortly after, Beatrice was announced as a new deputy patron of Outward Bound, a respectable, meaningful charity position that would normally cause no headlines at all. But this one did, because reports claim William strongly opposed it. According to insiders speaking to Rob Shooter's #SHUTER scoop, William wanted the York sisters entirely out of public view until after the king's next health review. Keeping them hidden was, in his view, the safest path. But King Charles disagreed, believing the royal family needs to heal in public, not behind closed doors. And suddenly, without meaning to, Beatrice and Eugenie became symbols of two competing visions for the future of the monarchy. Kate's invitation landed right in the middle of of that divide. The sisters understand the stakes. They've lived long enough within the royal machine to know that nothing is accidental, and no invitation is ever just an invitation. Attending the carol service means aligning themselves with Kate's vision of a united monarchy. Declining would quietly support William's more cautious approach, even if that's not the message they intend to send. And because the royal family never explains their decisions publicly, the world is left to interpret the symbolism however it wants. This is where the media pressure becomes overwhelming. If they walk into Westminster Abbey the moment the cameras flash, they will be framed as returning Yorks or the first step toward public rehabilitation. Headlines will swirl, commentators will dissect every facial expression, and social media will ignite with debates about whether the sisters deserve a place in the spotlight at all. If they stay home, the story becomes even worse. Signs of family division. Kate being ignored, William's warning validated, Charles's hopes for unity rejected, and the narrative will spiral completely out of their control. It's the kind of situation where silence doesn't save you, it only creates more noise. The tragedy for Beatrice and Eugenie is that none of this is new. Their entire lives have been shaped by events they didn't cause. They watched their parents' scandals unfold from the sidelines. They dealt with public judgment, with whispered commentary, with constant comparisons to more acceptable royals. They've always played the game carefully, avoiding controversy, building stable families, and carving out careers separate from the monarchy. But somehow, they always get pulled back into the storm. And this time, the storm hits harder because the royal family itself is fractured. Insiders say the last year has been one of the most difficult periods for the monarchy in decades. Loss, illness, scandal, and political pressure have battered the institution from every side. Personal relationships behind the scenes are reportedly strained. Trust is thin, tension is thick, and decisions that should be small, like who gets invited to a Christmas event, suddenly feel massive. Kate's invitation wasn't malicious. If anything, sources say she genuinely wants the sisters to feel welcomed, respected, and involved. She sees them as victims of circumstance, not contributors to scandal. In private, Kate is known to value grace and forgiveness, believing that the only way forward is to break old patterns rather than repeat them. But William's perspective isn't without reason either. As future king, he's painfully aware of how fragile the monarchy's image is right now. One wrong move, one poorly interpreted moment, one photo of the York sisters standing next to senior royals, and the headlines explode into something far bigger than a Christmas concert. So Kate stands on one side, advocating compassion. William stands on the other, prioritizing caution. And Charles stands above them both, trying to stabilize the family before his next health review. It's a triangle of pressure, and Beatrice and Eugenie are stuck in the center of it. Even the idea of a low-key entrance, Kate's suggested approach, feels impossible. There's nothing low-key about being the daughters of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor during a high-profile royal event. Cameras will zoom, reporters will chase, commentary will erupt within seconds. The sisters know this. Kate knows this. Everyone knows this. But the royal family has reached a point where every public appearance is a statement, even when they pretend it's not. And December 5th is shaping up to be one of the most telling moments of the year. If Beatrice and Eugenie show up, it could signal a quiet realignment, a subtle shift toward unity and public healing. It could also trigger backlash from critics who accuse the palace of trying to soft Trevor and the Yorks. And it may very well deepen the rumored divide between William and Kate if the aftermath becomes chaotic. If they stay home, it becomes a sign of unresolved fractures. A sign that the family cannot bridge the divides created by Andrew's downfall. A sign that William's cautious strategy is winning. And a sign that the monarchy is still struggling to present the united front it desperately needs. Either way, the sisters' decision will reveal more than any official royal statement ever could. And so, while the world prepares for a festive, picture-perfect event at Westminster Abbey, the reality behind the scenes is anything but cheerful. There's pressure, strategy, hidden frustrations, conflicting viewpoints, and a pair of royal sisters forced to choose between two equally risky paths. All eyes now turn to December 5th, a date that looked innocent until the invitation went out. Will Beatrice and Eugenie stand beside Kate, quietly signaling a new chapter for the monarchy? Or will they stay home, allowing the silence to speak louder than any appearance ever could? Whatever they decide, the outcome won't just shape their own public standing. It could reshape the delicate balance of the royal family, revealing who holds influence, who sets the tone, and who ultimately decides how the monarchy moves forward from one of its most difficult years in recent memory. And the truth is, the real story might not be the event itself, but what the sisters' choice exposes about the future of the crown.